Hello and welcome to Cubetory. This is a demo version of the game. It is a factory-based puzzle game. Let's jump right into it. This is the pit that we have to deliver our shapes to, much like every other similar game. And we have some resources here. We have a yellow paint and we have some blank cube patches. So basically we have different recipes. We need to, let's go through a tutorial real quick. Get that out of the way. Now we can put mining drills down on the cubes here, and this will mine blank cubes for us. So let's put those down here, rotate that around, these down here. We can click on one of these drills. It shows you, it gives you this shape in every 5 seconds. Now this is basically a cube that is flattened, so you can see this is the cube that comes out. Put it on the belt here. There you go, it's a cube, so you gotta imagine the cube being unfolded. This is what it would look like. So that is our first goal done with that. Now we have different recipes we need to deliver. So the first recipe we have is the nutrient, and we can see the middle stripe of the cube needs painted yellow. So we can do that by coming over here and go up one here and go onto the paint patch. And once we get on the paint patch, we have to use what they call a nudger. It basically flops the shape over onto its side. So we have to do that 3 times so that it paints each side. And then come off the thing. So you can see as it's moving, it's kind of painting each side and flipping it over. So the nudgers kind of flip it. And if we click on this shape here, we can see we have the middle stripe painted. So that's what we want. So let's just deliver this to the pit. And we can go up to got that done. There are 15 cubes to the pit. We're going to do that. We can speed up here. We can speed this along. Nice, and that's basically 15 cubes delivered to the pit. So next up, we have to open the upgrades menu. There's a whole upgrades menu. This is kind of like the tech tree of the game. And we basically have different things we can unlock here. And we'll discover more as we go. You can see we're unlocking stuff as we go. Right now, in order to unlock this, you can't see it, but once you meet the unlock criteria, it disappears. But it basically requires, I don't even know, like we can click on the launchers here. This requires 60 cubes per minute to be unlocked, so we just hit that. So we can cruise through these top ones really quick. This plains chunk one will basically increase the size of our map, I believe. Check it out. There we go, added some blue and some extra cubes up here. Nice. Let's unlock the hydration cubes. That's a new recipe for us. Now let's just work our way across here. This requires 120 cubes per minute to unlock this recipe, the plains chunk. So it does have a nice little copy and paste feature. You can just grab this, copy this. I think we'll rotate it around and just put their belt in here. Nice, we'll put some nudgers in. And we can grab our belt. Nice. So that should be 120 per minute once it arrives at the pit. You can see our rate up here. It's in the top right hand corner of the screen, 68, 69. It's going to climb. Basically, each belt can hold 60 per minute. You know, these put out one every 5 seconds. So with 5 of them, it's 1 per second, which would be 60 per minute. So we can go hit the upgrades menu. That should be done pretty soon here. 113. Nice, let's unlock that. Next is the demolitions. We might as well get this one while we're at it. This requires 180 cubes per minute. So I think we just unlocked the second cube here, so we can grab this one here. Just copy this whole thing. Nice, and we'll just grab, I guess, this top one. Over here, down here. Now, interesting enough, there's this thing in the way here. We cannot go over that. We can't run a conveyor belt over it, so it's kind of in the way. You can launch over it, but it doesn't Doesn't do you any good. So let's come down here, do this. Put some nudgers in. This game starts off super simple, but it does get quite complicated. Nice. That should get us 180 per minute. Upgrades menu that unlocks the demolitions. We'll go ahead and unlock that. Demolitions is super handy because now we can get rid of all this stuff. Click on the bulldozer here, and we can just get rid of all this stuff that's going to be in the way. I'll just delete all of it because it's just going to be in the way in our conveyor belts. Nice. Definitely a nice feature to have. Go back to the upgrades menu. Next thing we can see is we need the construction cube. So to unlock that, we need this wavy looking thing, which is the hydration cube we unlocked earlier. We can check the recipe for that. This requires a row of green down the middle. So blue and yellow would make green, so we can just go ahead and we're going to stop making this 180 for now. Just delete this whole thing here. And we'll come over here with this. And basically do the same thing. Paint blue here. Might also get 2 rows going while we're at it because I know we're going to need it. Put our nudgers in. I'll paint each side. Nice, get our nudgers. Kind of paint myself into a corner over here though. Nice, so that should be 120 green coming through. As you can see, it paints this side blue, comes down, paints this side yellow, and then comes down here into here. So we can hit the upgrades menu. That should unlock construction cubes. The planes chunk. Again, that should increase our map size, I believe. Nice, now we got a big red patch over here. And the splitters, unlock splitters. Nice. So next up is the planes chunk. This requires 120 of each. We'll have that in just a second here. Nice. That unlocks the planes chunk. And this we're going to have to wait on because this is going to be 180 cubes of each, and I don't know that we have enough of that. We do have extra yellow down here, but we don't have extra blue. We could probably knock that one out of the way if we wanted to. I feel like we could clean this up a little bit. Let's go ahead and do that real quick. It's going to bug me otherwise. We're going to put this up here. We're going to put our belts over there, come down to here. We're going to delete all this. Super easy to redo stuff in this game, super nice. Rotate that, bring this down to here. Nice, this will be much better. That looks a little cleaner. I think while we're at it, we might as well just grab this bigger mining drills. We're not going to use it for a while, but since we're doing it, we might as well get it done. So we're going to just have to take this one up here. Gotta delete these things. Nice, let's grab this. We'll grab that. That's in the wrong spot. We'll have to drag this down. This has to go down to the yellow. We're going to need this one to be yellow as well. Sorry about the belt, I'm struggling with my fingers today. Let me put some nudgers in. And we can deliver those to the hub, pit, whatever you want to call it. Right click cancels the movement, and I'm not controlling my right fingers today, so. Alright, so that should get us 180 of each. That should unlock the bigger mining drills. Next up is the thunder cubes. Thunder cubes require this construction looking thing, which we unlocked here, the construction cube. This is where it gets quite complicated, so we got to check the recipes here. And the construction cube requires 2 bolts. Simple enough. 2 bolts require these 2 sides only being painted red. Not too bad. This has to be done in a stamper. A stamper requires power, so power is going to require fuel. So fuel is going to be required. This one's getting one that's all red. That's actually looks pretty easy, but it's actually a little bit more complicated than it is. So the first thing I'm going to do is get power up and running so that we can put stampers down. So we're going to go up to the red here. That upgrade is done. We can complete that one. Gets that holder out of the way. So now next up is thunder cubes. We're going to start with some fuel. You can check the recipes for fuel again. Fuel is all red here, so we're going to grab, I guess we're going to grab some miners first. Just copy this. I guess we'll point them up towards the red maybe. Rough day. Start by coming up here. Just come right off and come off the thing here. I believe that'll paint one side cube red. Yeah, nice. So that paints that side red. So if we nudge it twice, what will it do? So that should be actually what we want, I think. Nice. Yes, we can come back on the paint here. And that should paint the other side of it. Nice, something like that. And then what we could do is probably nudge it up. I don't know if we nudge it up right away, if will it paint it when we nudge it. It will not, so we need to come up over here. And we'll just come down over here. Down this way. And this should be, put some nudgers in here. So that's not working either. What are we doing wrong here? We come up here, we paint this side, we nudge it twice to flip it around, and then we paint the other side. So it's this, like this here. I think what we need to do is nudge it one more time. Let's try this. And then take it up. Yeah, so that puts our unpainted sides where we want them. Come down here. Put some nudgers in here, I believe. Sure, there's a simpler way to do this. Nice. And that's a whole block painted red, and we're going to need this shape at a different time. That's why I left it up here. So this is good here. We can put down our power station. So stamper, power station right here. We'll just put it right here, I guess. And that provides us power. Okay, so we're trying to get to this construction piece here. This requires 2 bolts. 2 bolts require this piece here, which actually matches this cube that we have right here. So I think we have the splitter unlocked. Grab the splitter up here. Can rotate this around. And that should give us our piece we need to work with. So now we got to put it into a stamper. So I guess we'll put it like right here. It looks good. We need to come down here. And we we need an input block. An input block is how you put in stuff into a machine. And we can click on this and configure it to make bolts. So it's going to take 9 seconds, and it's going to take one of these every 9 seconds and make 3 bolts. So that's pretty nice. So we'll get 3 bolts every 9 seconds, or 1 bolt every 3 seconds. Easy enough. This requires power though, so we need to grab a power pole and run it from our factory here. Probably just run it up to here. That's kind of in the way of the belt. Not a very convenient place for it, but let's just put it here for now, and we'll put it here for now. So that is making construction bolts. That's actually just making bolts, right? We need the construction, which is just 2 bolts. So it's going to be another stamper. Grab an input block. We're going to put a conveyor belt here. And then we'll put an input block and another stamper. And this will be making constructions. So it needs 2 bolts every 16 seconds or 1 every 8. This is making 1 every 3, so we're good. This needs power though. Nice, so we got power on that now. And now we need to unlock thunder cubes. What do thunder cubes require again? Upgrades. So we need to produce 10 cubes per minute. So I don't know, let's just see how fast this is producing. So we kind of blocked ourselves off down here. So we could put some launchers in, I guess. Nice. Into the pit it goes. We'll see how fast that's producing. Check our upgrades menu. It looks like we've hit the 10 per minute. I don't know how we hit it because we are currently only making 8 per minute, but we're going to need to up that anyway because now we need to unlock the desert chunk. The desert chunk requires 30 of these per minute. So we're going to have to scale up our production of these quite a bit. I think what we're going to do here then is delete this, put in a splitter. Something like this. And we can put some input blocks down. Copy our stamper down. Actually, we could copy it so it copies the recipe. I'll put a 4th one in. Need to copy some power down. Delete this one now. Now what we can do is these are actually producing extra than we need, so we could actually put another splitter in up here. I believe this will work. Another one like this. Copy this down to here. Nice, and that should just double the amount. It looks like we're making 6 to 8 per minute roughly. So now we're going to make double that. We need 30, so we're probably going to need an extra one of these. But now we can just copy this setup. Got a power pole in the way though. So let's copy this setup down. Nice. Now it looks like each one of these takes 1 power. I believe this looks like it can do 25 joules per second. So I guess this uses, doesn't really say, but I think the direction said 1 per second. So we could basically get 25 machines on 1 power network. We can see we're using 12 joules per second right now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Yeah, so each use 1 per second. Nice. And that should probably fill up the belt, I think. Just hit 30 per minute. That unlocks the desert chunk. Off a new desert biome. That's pretty cool. This requires 60 per minute. We just hit that. Nice. So this is the desert chunk. It's going to require 120 cubes. So we're going to have to come back to that because that is quite a lot of construction cubes. This requires, what, 180? Wow. Okay, so I believe we have enough power to copy this setup because we're going to need to get up to, what are we next at here? We're trying to hit 120 per minute, and we got currently 60. This is actually producing 64 per second, but we can't transport that many. Let's grab this copy paste thing. Let's just copy this. Put it down here, I believe. We should have enough power to get this done. Let's grab these up here. I think you want to just come up here. Come off here. I think we want to nudge it. Nudge it back here. Paint it down this way. So that's only painted one side of it. So it's still not working. Why is it not working? Because we're nudging it and then we're nudging it back. That's why. So what's happening here is we're nudging it here and then nudging it right back. Definitely need to delete this. Can we nudge it here? That might work. Let's delete these cubes. See if it's working. Yeah, that should work fine. Nice. So that's what we need here. We can just cook this into this belt here. And we can just run this down to the pit. Nice, and that should be double our speed now. These don't have any power. That is not quite in the power range. Not ideal. Why did this side work out? Oh, because we have a second belt here. Jump over to power belt. So nice, that got us up to 120 per minute. We can now unlock the desert chunk. We're going to hold off on that one. It's going to take a while. Desert chunk needs thunderbolts. So thunderbolts are quite complicated. We can take a quick look at the recipe here. It requires 2 circuit boards and this red and white pattern piece. And circuit boards require 2 wire and 1 bolt. And wire requires this crazy piece here. So this is quite a complicated piece. And we unlocked a new section in the desert. Now this is an interesting thing over here. This is, we can put a miner down on this. If we click on the miner, so it's going to output 40% this piece, 20% this piece, and 40% this piece. So we can like grab a belt and you can see it happening in action. So yeah, so it's got a whole bunch of different pieces on it. We're going to have to sort it. We did unlock a filter. So we can put a filter on here and kind of start filtering off stuff that we don't want. Like we can say filter based on top color red. So if it's red, it comes down this way. Nice. So now it'll filter it out based on if it's red on the top, it'll come over to here. Now we have two different shapes that are red on this. We have this one and this one. You know, it's hard to tell if that one's coming on the top, which it looks like it is. So what we would have to do is like nudge this piece and then put another filter in. We nudge it here, so let's filter it here. If the top color is blank, we will filter it down this way. So now it's going to sort all our pieces for us. Can make sure it's working. Yeah, so it looks like it's sorting the pieces nicely. Nice. So what's nice about this piece is like this piece is used for power, so that's instantly ready for power. This piece we could just paint one side of this one cube right here, and we would have enough to do the extra bolts because we're going to need those for the circuits. Okay, that's the first look at Cubetory. Make sure you wishlist it if you're interested in it so you can get some updates on when it's going to be released. But that's going to do it for this one. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.